Hello and welcome to another Vinny Talks Yanks. I'm your host Vincent LaRose, and what an eventful week for the New York Yankees. Going back to last Wednesday, the Yankees were 5 games out of first place. 5 games out of first place. It is now Thursday of the following week, and we are tied. We are tied for first place with the Blue Jays. Unfortunately, the Yankees do not have the tiebreaker. The Blue Jays beat them more times this season. So, if we were to tie at the end of the season, which is only 3 games left, the Blue Jays would get the tiebreaker and we'd get the wild card. But with a win today and the sweep over the White Sox, the Yankees were able to clinch themselves the number 1 wild card spot in the AL. If they weren't able to win the division, the East, and more than likely, if we do win the East, we'll probably have the best record. I believe the Mariners are only 1 game back. They're playing right now as I speak, but they're up, I believe, 6-0 at this moment. So it wouldn't surprise me, but more likely than not, the Yankees will get the number 1. They're guaranteed the number 1 wild card spot, or they will get the more than likely get the number 1 seed in the AL, which would give them the bye. They would get a bye regardless. If they were to win the AL East. But, wow, just again, like I said, what a crazy week, being 5 games back, a week and 1 day to this point now. 8 games ago, we were 5 games back. The Blue Jays are able, they go 2-6 over that period. The Yankees go 7-1, which allows the Yankees to tie for the division. It's just wild, crazy quotes on the Blue Jay side. I'm sure all you guys saw the John Boy media breakdown of George Springer saying, if they want to give the division to New York, just tell me. So, which is insane coming from a dude who cheated himself. But anyways, besides that, yeah, he did get screwed on 2 calls. I understand the frustration, but Yankees got screwed a couple weeks ago by the Astros. If we don't get screwed that game, we technically are in first place right now. But whatever. Can't blame the game on the umpires. You got to blame the game on your play. Just like I've been doing with the Yankees all season. I've constantly said the umpires are really not great. Aaron Boone made a funny quote, though, because the ABS system has been put into factor. Next year, we have been told, all the fans have been told, the ABS system will come into the game, not just preseason. Wow, not just spring training, but regular season and postseason. Each team will get 2 a game, unless successful. Blah blah blah. We know the rules to it. Aaron Boone had a funny quote about that, saying, he basically saying he doesn't like it, and although it's ironic for him to say because he gets thrown out of so many games, he thinks the umpires are better than ever. But regardless of the umpire parts, regardless of all that, the Yankees have played phenomenal. The bullpen seems to have finally figured themselves out. They have been actually quite good in the month of September, or at least for the past 2 weeks. I know the start was a little rough. Aaron Judge has just been phenomenal for the Yankees. He's your AL MVP. It does not matter. Only way, I'm being honest, only way I give it to Cal is if in these last 3, he's still playing right now, so they have 3 more games after this. In these last games, he's able to take over as the American League home run leader. He ends up hitting 63. I think if he ties, it doesn't really matter to me. But if you're gonna consider home runs as his overseeing, at least break the record at that point, because he's hitting like 240, maybe 247, something like that. Yeah, not great. And his OPS is nearly 200 points lower than Aaron Judge. But besides that, starting pitching has been phenomenal. Max Fried ends his season with 19 wins and a sub-3 ERA. Exactly what we need after losing Garrett Cole at the beginning of the season for the full season to get Tommy John. Losing Clark Schmidt as well. I mean, Carlos Rodon really stepped up this year as well. I know he gives up 3 runs tonight, but he finished off strong, going 6 innings. He ends the season with 18 wins. We have 2 starters with 37 wins on the season. These Rodon and Fried have just been phenomenal for us all season. I know they both got into a little bit of a scary stretch, but they finished strong, and they're going to be your 1-2 in any playoff series, whether it's the wild card, division, championship, or World Series. They're going to be your 1-2. Then you come to the argument with Heel and Schlittler. They both have one more opportunity to prove themselves to be the 3. I think in a 7-game series you have both on the roster anyways, but in a wild card series or a division series, you're only going to have 3 pitchers. Maybe division series you might have a 4th, but at least for the wild card series, if the Yankees are only able to get to the wild card, you're probably going to see not Schlittler. You're probably going to see Heel game 3. I know Schlittler has been very good, but I think Heel, with just the experience and the way he's pitched this year, I don't think you give it to Schlittler in that moment. But besides that, everything's been going well. I know Stanton was in a little slump, but he hits a clutch double he hits a clutch double today, clear the bases, and eventually gives the Yankees a 4-3 lead. We score one more on the double, Austin Wells double. End up winning 5-3 today. Bednar closes the game out as he's been doing all well. Just overall, the series has been great. The week has been great, going 7-1. I'm sorry, just been doing exactly what we need to do. Now the challenge is, can the Yankees finish this season off? Honestly, Toronto's going against the Rays to end their season. Yankees need to sweep the Orioles as well, which is going to be tough. Which is going to be very, very tough. I believe the Orioles have, I think his name, yes, Trevor Rogers. Not Taylor Rogers, Taylor Rogers. Trevor Rogers is going tomorrow. He's been insane this season. I know he only pitched half a season, but he has like a 1.36 ERA in over 100 innings. This he's been nasty for the Orioles. He was a stopper last, I think it was Saturday, when the Orioles beat the Yankees. He's been phenomenal this year. It's going to be really, really tough. And I don't see the Blue Jays losing 2 out of 3 against the Rays. I know they haven't been playing great lately, but tonight was a good win for them. I think that builds a little bit of confidence, and I don't see them losing 2 out of 3 or even getting swept by Tampa Bay. And I believe they're home as well. Let me make sure 100%. But if they're home, I find it really, really hard to believe that they're going to get swept or lose 2 out of 3. Yes, they are home for the last 3 games of the season. It'll be tough, but it's still very possible, and I still think the Yankees are able to go and they can do it. So, but preview-wise, the last 3 games of the season, tomorrow we're going to see Warren against Rogers. Saturday we are going to see Schlittler against, I don't know his name, I'm sorry, Murakami, if I'm right, against the O's. Is it Murakami? I'm hoping I'm getting his name right. Wow, not even close. Sugano. I was thinking of somebody else, that's why. But we're going to see Schlittler against Sugano, and then Sunday we are seeing, is it Bradish? Heel against Bradish, I believe. Yes, Heel against Bradish. Bradish has been good himself, although he's coming back soon. So, I really think at this point, the Yankees obviously are going for the division, but Saturday, Sunday is going to be the 2 important ones, just to really see. You're going to see Schlittler and Heel. I don't know. I believe, if I'm not wrong, the playoffs, everybody's off Monday, and the wild card series will start Tuesday. If I am not mistaken, they get 1 off day, and then the wild card series starts Tuesday. Let me make sure I'm 100% correct on that. Let me see if I can find any information. But as I was saying, Saturday, Sunday is going to be the battle with Heel and Schlittler. Not really a battle, but just both of those guys' last shots to see who would get that Game 3 start if needed, if we end up getting that wild card. And then probably, they probably roll with 4 guys past that, 4 starters past that. Warren's not going to be, I don't think Warren's going to be on any roster until we get to a championship series. I don't see him. They might replace him with Yarber. I don't see it. I think Warren's gonna be saved till a championship. Let me hold on. When is the first wild card game? MLB. Is it not gonna show me? Yes, I'm right. It's Tuesday, September 30th is when the Wild Card Series will start. So besides that point, like I said, Saturday, Sunday, Slitter's going Saturday, Heels going Sunday. So those will be a battle for the two, just to really, give them their last opportunities to sway maybe the management over, or Aaron Boone, or any of the pitching coaching, whoever runs it at this point. Who knows at this point? But into who will get that Game 3 start. Again, me personally, I think it's going to be Heel. I think regardless, unless Heel absolutely is horrendous on Sunday. But, you never know. Anything can happen, and we don't know what the Yankees are thinking. Maybe the Yankees got something up their sleeve. Maybe they roll with both. I doubt that's going to happen, but we'll never know. If the Yankees were to win the division, they wouldn't play until I think it's Saturday. So it's that wild card series. Friday, everybody would be off. Nobody's playing that third game Friday. Unless is there an off day in between? Maybe not, but Saturday is the start of all the division series. So the way it's looking right now, the Guardians have made an insane comeback, the biggest comeback. I think there were 16.5 games down at one point. They are now technically tied, but they, just like the Toronto Blue Jays, they have the tiebreaker over the Tigers. So as of right now, Cleveland is in first place going into their last 3 games. They lost tonight. The Tigers beat them tonight, but Cleveland's in first place. So it's really looking like if we were to win the division, it's going to be either the Blue Jays or the Red Sox in the divisional series. And then if we are to win if we're only to get the wild card, it's probably going to be the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox are 3 games up against the next. No, they're 1 game up on Detroit. So it could be Detroit. It's very possible it would be Detroit in that wild card series. Although I would really not want that to happen. Either way, and technically it could be Houston if Houston sneaks in. We really do not know as of now. We just know we have home field advantage regardless. So regardless, at least in the American League side, until the World Series, the Yankees will have home field advantage. No, that's wrong. They'll only have home field advantage wild card, even though they have the better record than everybody else. And then if they win the division, they'll have home field advantage throughout. But it's coming down to the wire, man. We only have 3 games left. Me and my editor, we're going to be on top of the entire postseason, whether if it's only the wild card series or if it's all the way to the World Series to the last days. Every single video, all that will be out before the next series starts. We're going to do series breakdowns of the previous series. We're going to be reviewing the next series, see what's, matchups, blah, 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 this and that, how the Yankees played against them the season, when did they play against them, blah, 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 all that good stuff. So make sure you subscribe, all that, to follow along. I know my subscribers just tripled within the last 2 days, which is insane. So thank you for everybody subscribing. I really appreciate it. So hopefully this video should be out before the Orioles series. But there's really not much else to talk about, man. We all know what happened. Like I said, the Springer quote happened, which we all found a lot of funny. That got a lot of traction. And not to be that guy, because the Yankees were here 2 months ago, man. But you're feeling the pressure, and I could see we can all see it. The Blue Jays are feeling the pressure, and especially when you're going against a team like New York, who's so mainstream, where Toronto maybe have 5 reporters and we have 50. I get it, and I'm sure obviously he has a past with the Yankees with all the cheating scandal stuff. So it's just a funny thing to say, wide out in the open, to your manager. It was a horrendous call. Don't get me wrong. That ball was fair. George Springer has had a phenomenal season this year, and you cannot... Oh, there goes my mic. Wow, that was an accident. But you cannot sum up his season based on that one play. So... Or that one quote, I'm sorry. So it's just strange. It's hard to even talk about, because there's things I want to say that I'm not going to say on camera because it's not right. But it's... yeah. So, anyways, Yankees are going to be... I believe in it. I think they are going to pull out the division. I think the Red Sox, Red Sox, Jesus Christ. The Blue Jays they're just not in the right state of mind. We've seen the Blue Jays in the past couple of years. When they do make the playoffs, I think they've made it the last 4 out of 5. When they have, they've been awful. They don't get past the wild card or the divisional series. They've been really bad. So just not a lot of experience on that roster either. I think they have a couple rookies and some guys who have never played in the playoffs, or even if they haven't played past the wild card round. So we shall see. But to end the to end the video, we're going to get into the Judge Cal Raleigh stuff. Obviously, that's the talking point in just all of baseball right now with everything going on. And it's very interesting because I've had this take in the past. I don't believe you're an MVP if you don't supply anything to help your team win. And so times in the past where Trout has won it, Ohtani won it for the Angels. They're the best player in baseball that season or in that league that season, but they're not the most valuable player. And that's where it gets sticky. And technically, if you want to say, I know it's called the MVP, but it's not the MVP. It's the best baseball player in that in that league, whether it's the American League or the National League. So I get the argument. But in this point, at this position, the Mariners have been great. Cal Raleigh has led that team to their first their first division win, and since 2001, I believe, when they won 117 games. Aaron Judge does what Aaron Judge thing. He does it every year, so whatever. The main argument right now is Cal Raleigh has more home runs, and plays, and he's a catcher. He has a harder defensive position. I know a lot of argument. Judge is not a DH. He's played more than 2/3 of his games in the outfield. He's only been mostly DH since he was injured, and he's playing nearly every day in right field again. I will say this. A lot of people say Judge's defense is underrated. I think he's fine where he's at rate-wise. Judge is a very good right fielder, but he's not the best right fielder. Obviously, he's not the best. He does play in Yankee Stadium, which helps. We have the short porch in right field. I'm not taking anything away from Judge. But when he played center field the past couple of seasons, he just didn't, metric-wise, he did not grade out well. He's definitely a good outfielder and has a good arm, but that arm has kind of been taken away from him now after his injury. And, he makes a lot of diving plays. He makes good plays, but a lot of his diving plays are balls. Most guys, or I shouldn't say most guys, elite defenders don't need to dive for. Judge is a very, very good defensive right fielder. And I think he should be stuck in that very good category. Cal Raleigh is also an elite defensive catcher. If you include FWAR, or if we're talking about FWAR, Judge is technically up half a point, and FWAR includes framing, obviously, which is a big deal, and I believe it's a big deal. I think it's very important. But if you Baseball Reference WAR, BWAR, Judge is up by 2 points. So it makes I think FWAR, Judge is up by 1 point. Whatever the numbers are, Judge is up by WAR regardless. Even including defense, Judge is up by WAR, and Judge, again, has played 50 games as a DH. So including defense, Judge has a higher WAR, and WAR isn't the only stat you should look at for an MVP. Also, a lot of Mariners fans like to say this. A lot of guys would like to say this. He's the best defensive catcher in baseball. He's not. He's not at all. He's not even the best defensive catcher on the West Coast. Patrick Bailey is a way better defensive catcher than Cal Raleigh is. Patrick Bailey just can't hit a baseball, so obviously he's not going to be in that conversation. I believe JT Realmuto is also a better catcher than him. I know statistically this year may not show that, but he is. Alejandro Kirk for the Blue Jays has statistically been the best catcher in baseball. I believe Raleigh's not even in the top 5. If I'm mistaken. Halfway through the season, it was even lower than that, but he picked himself up. And it's also really, really hard to defend. It's just tough for me, too. PitchCom has changed a lot, too. I do give him credit because he is working a pitching staff. But, come on, man. PitchCom has mostly taken over, and I don't know what the Mariners do, but I know, like, it's like not 50-50, but a good amount of guys call their own pitches anyways. And that's where the point where I'm not saying he can't call a good game, because he has in the past. He did it last year and the year before that. He's a very good game caller. I just think with everything combined, when you look at both guys at the end of the season, at the end of the day, Judge is clearly the better baseball player. Like, by a lot. You know, I know defense matters, and I'm one that believes defense matters, but even when you include defense, even when you include all their defensive metrics, Judge still has done more to help his team win. I know Judge is on probably a better offensive team, defensively, whatever, but offensively, the Yankees have been statistically better than the Mariners. It's a really, they're making it a tight race. I would say about a month ago when Judge was going through that slump after coming off the injury, Raleigh had it. But just what Judge has been able to do in the past, 3 weeks alone just tells me he's just a better baseball player than Cal Raleigh. If you think Cal Raleigh is a better baseball player than Aaron Judge, you're out of your mind. I get where the MVP talks come from. We've never seen a catcher do this. We've never seen a switch hitter do this, which is even more impressive. He's topped so many records. He has the most switch hitter home runs in baseball history. He has the most home runs in Mariners history now. He's quite close to being the home run leader in the AL if he were to be able to get another 3 before the season's end. He is still playing right now, so it's very possible he could have a game or two, another bat or two. Top of the 8th. Let me see where they at right now. Where they at? Mariners. 0 for 3. He's in 247 now, 955 OPS. But he could have another bat. Maybe he hits another one. That is the only way I'm giving it to Raleigh, is if he beats Aaron Judge's record. That's just my opinion. Even some guys say even if he does that, he shouldn't. We don't see seasons like this from Aaron Judge, and I think people are overlooking it because of how good Cal Raleigh has been, but this is insane. Like, what Aaron Judge is doing is completely unheard of. And remember, the only guy you can necessarily compare him to is guys like Barry Bonds, Sosa, and Mark McGwire. They're all guys who've had seasons like this. What's it called? Wow, I just blanked there. But Miguel Cabrera and Pujols have had seasons like this, but not as many times as Aaron Judge's. You can't put as many times into an MVP because it's the MVP for the season. I'm just talking about overall. But numbers you can compare to are all, with Aaron Judge, are all guys that did steroids. And I'm a guy who thinks Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. But at the end of the day, he doesn't need a performance-enhancing drug to do almost nearly the same thing they're doing. And it's crazy about Aaron Judge because he's now in his 4th 50 home run season. He's the youngest player in the history of the game to have 450 home run seasons. He's done it 3. He's had 3 in the past 4 seasons. He probably would have 4 if Dodger Stadium doesn't break his toe. He'd have 4 in a row, which is wild. But although argument being said, you cannot use that as this year's MVP. You cannot make that as an argument for this year's MVP. But what I can make as an argument for this year's MVP is with the amount of home runs he's hit, there's only 2 guys, I believe, who have hit as high of an average as him. And coming off today, he's now hitting 330, which is nearly 100 points more than Cal Raleigh is. Not nearly, it's 87 points more. But that's a big difference. His OPS is 200 points more than Cal Raleigh's is. 200. Okay, not 100, not 10, 200 points. Cal Raleigh, if he's 200 points lower, is an average MLB player. Aaron Judge, if he's 200 points lower, is Cal Raleigh. Guys, this is not close. And again, a lot of people are upset. Oh, best hitter, it's just a hitter's award. It's not just a hitter's award. But you have to score runs to win the game. You also have to prevent runs to win the game. I think Cal Raleigh is good at both. Aaron Judge is not as good as a defensive player as Cal Raleigh is. He doesn't play as a premium position like Cal Raleigh does. But he plays his position well, and he's way better offensively. Not a little bit better, not a little bit. He's way better offensively. If he played the same amount of games as Cal Raleigh, he'd have the same amount of RBIs. That's no questions asked. Maybe he doesn't have as many home runs. But also, remember, Aaron Judge today has broke the record, the AL record for most intentional walks in the whole season. He also is feared more than Cal Raleigh is. I think it's Aaron Judge. I'm not going to go much further than that. The statistics, you guys can all look at. Just go look at baseball. Aaron Judge leads in every statistic except two. RBIs and home runs. Every other statistic offensively, I will say this, offensively, Aaron Judge leads in. Defensively, you cannot compare the two defensively. They play not just two different positions. They play two complete different positions. So, but anyways, that's where I'm going to end it today. You guys, let me know in the comments. Do you think Aaron Judge is the AL MVP, or do you think I'm insane and you think Cal Raleig's an AL MVP? I know Cal Raleig's season. And again, with me saying this, I want to say this now. Cal Raleig's season is absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. We've never seen anything like this before. But you can say the exact same for Aaron Judge. So, with that all being said, I'm going to end it there. So thank you for everybody who is watching on the YouTube side or listening to on the podcast side. I appreciate every last one of you. As this channel continues to grow, I will always let you guys know. It doesn't matter if I have 50 subscribers or 50 million subscribers. I'll never get to 50 million subscribers. But you know what I mean. No matter what, I appreciate every last one of you that takes time out of your day to either watch or listen, even if it's only for a little bit of the video. That just shows you have my attention. I'm sorry, I have your attention. So whatever I'm trying to say, at the end of the day, I'm just saying I appreciate every last one of you. Also, as always, I do shorts videos. I recap every single game, recap a little bit. And there's a new video posted every day, whether that's YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. If there's anything else you guys would ever want, content-wise, any of that, just let me know. I'll work on it. But again, I appreciate every last one of you, and I hope every one of you guys has a wonderful day, morning, night, whatever time or whatever it is for you. And as always, go Yankees.